like, damn, slow down. I know you see a queen adjusting her crown. She been knocked down, but she never stayed down. She been living life like it's her playground. And they be like, damn, slow down. They can catch us, she be moving too fast.
Hey everyone. Hey. Good evening, good night, whatever you want to call it. I am sorry that I'm here late, but time got away from me. That's why I asked y'all if y'all was still up, because I know that you guys are kind of busy. We're coming back from a holiday, but I know I haven't uploaded in a while, so I really wanted to come on here and talk about this story that actually was told to me today. And I want to give a shout out to that subscriber that actually wrote me and asked me if I heard about this story. And it's sad. It's a really sad story, but there is something that I want to ask you guys from this story and get y'all opinions, because this is going to be a controversial story, of course, like they always are. But I really want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Let me make sure my sound works. Like, subscriber, let me make sure my sound works. Okay, so it works. Hi, Miss Rye. Um, I'm kind of waiting for a few more people to get in here, but I hope you guys enjoyed your holiday weekend, from Good Friday on up to Easter Sunday. I had a great weekend with my kids. We enjoyed it. And I'm kind of ready for summertime. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I am so ready for it to be the summertime. I like the spring, but the rain kind of gets me down, and I'm over the rain. But nonetheless, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started in the video. I just want to say hi to everybody. If you guys are part of the replay gang, please make sure that you like this video, share this video. Like I said, this is going to be something that I want you guys to think about, and talk to your loved ones about. Y'all know how I am over here. I feel like it's very important to have these conversations. It's very important to be in the know, especially if you are Black in America. So, as you guys see by the title, we are going to be talking about a 26-year-old Grand Rapids, Michigan man by the name of Patrick Lyoya. He is a Republic of Congo immigrant, so he comes from the Congo. If you guys have no idea what that is, yeah, I know that is very far. They are not from America, right? So he is an immigrant from the Congo. Him and his family moved here became refuges after about 8 years ago, because of course Congo has a lot of war and violence. So his family wanting a better life for their 6 children, they relocated to the United States of America, thinking that they were going to give their children a better, safer life, which is very hard to do. The process to come to America is not easy. So I know this is getting off topic, but I want to say this. People who talk about immigrants, or people that talk about people that come from other countries and relocate to America, if you guys know anything about that process, it is actually very hard. It is very expensive, and it is very scary. You have to have hope, faith, money, dreams to come over here, because for some people this is the dream. The American dream is the dream, right? So I commend them. Like I said, mother and father with their 6 children, Patrick being the oldest of 6 children. They relocated here from the Republic of Congo, and they have been living here for the past 8 years. Patrick is not only the oldest of the 6 children, but he also is a father of 2 children. Now, on April 4th, the morning of April 4th, Patrick was pulled over by a Grand Rapids, Michigan police officer for having incorrect tags on the car. So his tags, license plate did not match the car. So it was not registered to that car, it was registered to another car. And from there, Patrick was unalived by the police officer, and he suffered GSWs to the back of his head, 2 of them, to the back of his head while he was face down. Now, fast forward, like I said, this happened April 4th. We are now on the 18th. His family, Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, heavy hitters, have been fighting for justice for Patrick Lyoya, because this is beyond devastating. And it's like Are you serious to be unalived in that manner? And what makes it so worse is the police is not investigating the officer that did this. He is not under investigation. He is not um, a person of interest. He is not being held accountable, and he is actually not in any trouble, and they're not releasing his name. So not only is this man able to walk freely, but Patrick Lyoya's family is asking for information on this officer because they want to know who the person was that took their son's life, took their hope's life. You know, this was their oldest son. And if you guys know anything about that, your firstborn child, especially your firstborn son, you breathe so much life into them, so much hope. And we're going to get into what his family had to say as well as the footage. I'm not going to show you guys the actual footage where it contains him being murdered, but I am going to show you guys the traffic stop. And the main reason why I want to show you guys this is I want to know, was there an area of opportunity for the officer? I feel like in these situations it's always the black man or the person being stopped that is under so much scrutiny when they're not at work. Let's be very clear. The victims are not at work. So I want to know, after we watch this, how do you guys feel like the officer who was on duty was doing a job? How do you guys feel like he did? And this is the important question, because every other job that someone has protocols and policies. Let's take, for instance, a nurse. Could a nurse be hostile and be justified? Could a customer service rep be hostile and be justified? And I know that people love to say, well, police officers are a little bit different because they're dealing with violence and crime. Their life is on the line. That is so true. That is very, very true. But at the end of the day, do they still need to practice a policy that fits the safety of everyone around them, including themselves? So we're going to go ahead and jump into the video, and I want you guys to, like I said, just think about what I asked you guys and let me know how you guys feel.
$19.15.
Hey, stay in the car. Stay in the car. Stay in the car. Get in the car. Dude, I'm stopping you. Do you have a license? Do you have a license?
For what?
I'm stopping you. Do you have a license?
What that?
Do you have a driver's license? Do you speak English?
Okay, so I moved my overlay just to make sure that y'all can see everything. But as you guys see, he was stopped at 8:11 in the morning of April 4th. And the officer, of course, pulls him over or stops him. And Patrick gets out of the car. As you guys hear, immediately the officer is like, hey, stay in your car, stay in your car. But you hear Patrick saying, what'd I do? What'd I do? For what? For what? Because look at the look on his face. He's genuinely confused. If you guys know anything about body language, his arms is out. He is like, what did I do? What did I do? And you hear the officer say, do you speak English? And he put the fingers up in a mouth movement, very hostile. So I'm only, depicting this and going through this because I want to hear y'all thoughts. Do y'all see an area of opportunity?
Yes.
Can I see your license?
What that is on?
The plate doesn't belong on this car. Do you have a license or no? Do you have a driver's license?
Yes.
Where is it at?
It's in the car.
Get it for me.
What that is on?
The plate does not belong on this car.
Amen. Y'all be my right there. Right there.
No, no, no. Stop. Stop. Put your hands right. Stop. 1915. You got one running. North, south.
Okay, so I know you guys are asking, does he understand English? To my knowledge, yes. Patrick does understand English. He has been here for 8 years. So, yes, he does understand English. I'm not sure exactly how much English he knows. I don't know that. But I do know that he does come off as very confused and frightened. Now, is it safe to understand why he is scared of the police? Hell yeah, because I'm scared of the police too. But you see, the officer is very confrontational, and that could be because he too is scared. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's scared, with his badge and his gun and his white privilege. He is scared, quote unquote, wink, wink, bullshit, but whatever. So he's very confrontational to Patrick. He tells Patrick to get his license. Patrick asked the person in the car to get the license, but from the looks of it, clearly the friend or whoever was in the car said it wasn't in there. So Patrick begins to run. He's running away from the officer. So is the officer in danger when someone is running away? And let's bring this into perspective. They were only stopped. He was only stopped for his tags not matching his car. So no violent crime, no nothing, right? So the imminent fear that the officer was in does not exist, in my opinion. But I want to hear from y'all in the comments. Let me know what's your thoughts on this, because I'm still not seeing a reason why Patrick ended up the way he did.
Stop! Stop!
Okay. Damn.
Stop! Stop!
Okay.
Get your hands behind your back!
Okay.
Hands behind your back! Get your hands behind your back!
Okay.
1950, 7 more cars.
Okay.
Stop!
Okay.
Stop resisting!
I'm gonna do it to him. To you.
Did y'all hear Patrick ask him, "What did I do to you?" So as he turns around, his body language is still reading, "I'm confused." He asked the officers, "What did I?" Or asked the officer, "What did I do to you? What did I do?" As y'all can tell, they're not fighting. So please be very clear. This is when I found this footage. Before I found this footage, people made it seem like they were actually fighting. Like I was expecting to see Patrick and him going back and forth. I'm not. I do see that Patrick is not falling to his knees and on the ground the way that the officer wants him to. But as far as Patrick trying to fight the officer, I don't see a fight. I do see that the officer is clearly frustrated because he cannot get this man down. But again, the officer's job is to do a certain thing. It's not Patrick's fault you can't get it done, sir. Mind you, they do this all the time with multiple people. I have seen an officer go toe to toe with a crackhead. It's very frustrating. But again, does this cost you your life? Should this kill you? Because again, you're only supposed to use deadly force if someone's life is in danger and you're protecting your own life or someone else's life. So I'm still looking for the danger of this man's life. The officers I'm talking about.
Let go of the taser!
What's the problem?
Let go of the taser!
Okay, so that's all that I am going to play of that video. The rest of the video, it does not show him being unalived. It only shows him being resuscitated. I do not believe that we need to see his lifeless body down on the ground. Like I said, he suffered GSWs to the back of his head while he was face down. That's the only clip that you guys do not see. I also did not see it. I did see the other clip that showed it, but when it got to that part, I did cover my phone. But when I heard the gunshots, I jumped. So it's very traumatizing. And I'm not gonna play that on my channel. But right before the clip cut off, you guys hear Patrick asking again, "What's the problem? Like, what did I do?" The license plates and tags cannot make you that angry. The officer came out of the gate, in my opinion, very, very hostile and very, very angry. And again, for what? For what? This man clearly has a language barrier, whether people want to believe it or not. He is from the Congo. Like, goddamn it, he's not from Michigan playing like he has a language barrier. He's really not from here. And he clearly didn't know what was going on, but you're attacking him or approaching him in a very aggressive manner, and it's not giving you're in fear for your life or that you're protecting anyone to be that hostile and angry. So my question is for you guys, do you guys believe that officers should have some sort of way to approach people, especially people that may not understand? Let me put it like that. Because I feel like this, if we only see one thing on TV, and right now what we have been seeing on TV is people like us being gunned down by the police officers. We are going to be scared. So if you approach us, whether we have a traffic violation, I've never heard of anyone being condemned to death for a traffic violation. That is literally a misdemeanor. But if you approach us, we're already scared. You approach us in a very hostile manner. How do you expect us to be? Even because we've seen people who fully submit to what the officer says and still, loses their life. And then we have people that actually fight for their lives. I don't believe that Patrick was fighting for his life because he did not fight the officer. I just showed y'all the clips. I do believe that Patrick was simply confused. You can't get me to believe it because he literally was asking, "What did I do? What is the problem?" And his body language shows that. His body language did not suggest that he was looking for a confrontation or that he was some horrible person that was just planning their day to start with the officer. So I feel like the officer was definitely in the wrong from beforehand, before it even got bad. I feel like the officer caused this. I'll just put it like that. So the next thing that I'm going to play is there is a lot of back and forth, as you guys know, with social media, where people love to glorify or justify the actions of these police officers, these murderers, for what they do, and they love to villainize the victims. They love to point out their flaws, so they love to pull out their arrest records, their mugshots. They love to do all that and say, "Oh, okay, you should have just listened to the officer." But people really miss the fact that even if you do not listen to the officer has protocols to the point where they are not supposed to unalive you, period, point blank. And the fact that this is an overwhelming amount of people like us being unalived by these murderers, and it's just getting off and getting off, and it makes no sense. Patrick was not a threat to the officer. Now, his family, like I said, is from the Congo. Now, you guys asked me if Patrick speaks English. I believe that Patrick does speak English. Is it good? I don't know. However, his family does not. So what I'm about to play for you guys is actually the press conference of his family, his mother and father speaking about, the passing of their son and how they feel. And I want you guys to listen to how the father talks about America and what he wanted for his son in America, because I feel like it speaks volumes to what people believe America is and how sad people get taught that it's not. So 1 second.
Asante sana.
Thank you so much.
Mimi ni Peter Lyoya.
I am Peter Lyoya.
So as you guys hear, the father is speaking. His name is Peter. The son's name is Patrick. He clearly has an interpreter because he does not speak English. And as you guys see, the woman, if you guys did not know, the woman in the back with the hoops and the headband on, that is Breonna Taylor's mother. You guys know Breonna Taylor was murdered by the police after they did a no-knock warrant and took her life in a shooting for the incorrect home. So she was murdered. So her mom is an advocate, and she is right there with the family, the Lyoya family, as an advocate and a support ally. So we're gonna hear what he has to say, so you guys can see what exactly he thinks America is.
Baba yake ya Patrick Lyoya.
I am the father of Patrick Lyoya.
Patrick Lyoya ni mtoto wangu wa kwanza.
Patrick Lyoya is my firstborn son.
Alikuwa na miaka 26.
And he was 26 years old.
Kama mnaniona hapa,
the way you see me now,
sina mengi ya kuongea.
I don't have much to say.
Roho yangu inavunjika kabisa.
My heart is really deeply broken.
Sikuwa najua kama katika hii nchi,
I didn't believe that in this country,
kama kuko genocide,
that there is a genocide in this country.
Sikukuwa najua.
I didn't know.
Sikukuwa najua kama hapa mwa nchi,
I didn't know that here in America
kunaweza kuwa execution ya mtu kwa kumuua.
There can be an execution style to kill someone.
Kwa kuua mtu na risasi.
To kill someone with a gun.
Tena uwawe na askari polisi mkubwa.
And to be killed by the police officer.
Kwa nia yangu mimi,
on my wish now,
nilikuwa najua kama ukikutana na polisi,
I knew that if you met with a police officer in America,
utakuwa umesave maisha yako.
You will be safe. Your life will be spared.
Lakini cha kunililisha kabisa kuona
what is making me cry more to see my son
ameuawa kabisa na askari polisi mkubwa.
He has been killed by a police officer.
So based off of what the father is saying, he's basically saying that he was under the impression that not only were you safe in America, because remember, they come from the Congo, which is under war and great violence of their own. Their own people is, doing a lot of violent things to them. So a lot of people have to leave to find safety. So here they come over here, and they are genuinely shocked because they think they are in somewhere. Yes, Miss Rob, Ben Crump be everywhere. I have another video where he's in it, but they come over here and they're under the impression that they are safe. And the only reason why I'm highlighting the things that the father is saying is because if you have only been taught that the police is good. So let's think. We are from here. We are from America. We are more in tune to what goes on. They are not. So his father, Patrick's father, clearly has been telling him police is good people, police is safe, police is kind, police protects you. So when Patrick was approached in a very hostile manner by the police officer that is supposed to be kind and friendly per the teachings of his father, does that kind of give you guys an example why Patrick may be looking the way he did in that initial video where he's like, what did I do? What's the problem? He's genuinely confused because his father really thinks that police officers, which they should be, are kind and they protect you and that they fight for your life, not take your life. This is so important to know people's upbringings and stop, putting us all in a box and, portraying us as a certain way, because all of us is raised differently. I was never taught that police was good. I'll be completely honest with you guys. So, of course, I would never be shocked at how a police officer is acting in a certain way. But if I have for any reason been told that they were good and been shown that they good, then maybe I would have acted like Patrick. Patrick's like, what in the hell? I met a bad police officer today. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but this ain't it. And the father is literally crying because he's like, It breaks my heart that I thought that you guys were good people and you guys are bad. Trey, you said you were taught the same. You were taught that police officers were good or that they were bad?
Kwa kosa ndogo sana.
For a small mistake, fault.
Wakati nimeona video hii,
by the time when I saw this video,
roho yangu kabisa imevunjika.
My heart was really deeply broken.
Hapa naona kabisa ni maisha yangu, sina maisha.
Right now I'm seeing that I have no life. My life has come to their hand.
Maisha yangu ilikuwa tayari ni Patrick, mtoto wangu.
My life was Patrick, my son.
Nilikuwa nawazia Patrick ndo sasa amenigomboa.
I was thinking that Patrick will take my place.
Lakini kuona kabisa ameuawa unyama na ule askari polisi.
And to see that my son has been killed like an animal by this police officer.
Kwa kweli kwa kuona hii video wametangaza.
And to see this video they show.
Hapa naona sina maisha, nimesikia roho yangu kabisa imevunjika.
I see that I have no life. I see my heart being broken.
Naomba sheria.
I'm asking for justice.
Naomba sheria.
I'm asking for justice.
Naomba sheria.
I'm asking for justice.
Yes. Naomba sheria juu ya Patrick.
I'm asking for justice for Patrick.
Naomba sheria juu ya Patrick.
I'm asking justice for Patrick.
Patrick ni mtoto wangu mtulivu sana.
Patrick was a quiet kid.
Hakukuwa na nia ya kugombana au mtu wa vita.
Patrick didn't like to fight. He was not a brutal kid.
Lakini nimeshangaa kuona ofisi mkubwa yeye ndo anampiganisha Patrick.
And I was surprised to see that it was the officer that was really beating Patrick.
Tangu Patrick amezaliwa mimi sijaona napigana.
Ever since when Patrick grew up, I never see Patrick fight.
So y'all hear the father. And it's common. As a parent, we're going to speak highly of our children. But do y'all think that this father is lying based off of the video that I showed y'all? Did y'all see Patrick raise a hand to this police officer? Did y'all see Patrick intimidate this police officer? No. This father is definitely not lying. I did not get any inclination. And I'm not saying this because this is another black man that was murdered. I'm not. I will honestly tell the truth. I definitely did not see him fight this officer. So I can only go and believe what the father is saying. Patrick doesn't fight. Patrick's not mean. Patrick's nice and quiet. Because in the video, he definitely came off as that. He actually looked very, very scared.
Lakini hii video ya officer nimeona officer mkubwa amempiganisha Patrick.
And I see this officer fighting with my son.
Roho yangu imevunjika sana.
My heart is broken.
Kuona officer mkubwa gisa amemwikalia mtoto.
I see to see an officer being on top of my son
na kumpiga risasi kwenye kichwa.
And to shoot him on the back of his head.
Roho yangu imevunjika sana.
And my heart is really broken.
Naomba sheria juu ya Patrick.
I'm asking justice for Patrick.
Justice for Patrick.
Thank you so much.
And now you will hear from his mother, Dorcas.
And my name is Dorcas Lyoya. I am the biological mother of Patrick. He is my firstborn. I'm really deeply hurt and wounded. I don't know what to do. I cannot stop myself but for crying. All the mother here, our mother, you know the pain that we go through to give birth to a child. And as a parent, I was thinking maybe if it was my son who was going to bury me, he will assist me to my funeral. But what is so astonishing, I am the one burying my son. When we ran away from war from Congo because we were in an area that was not safe, there was a war. And I thought that I came to a safe land, a heaven, a safe place. And I start thinking now, I'm surprised and astonished to see that my son is here, that my son has been killed with bullets.
nasikia moyo wangu kuvunjika sana.
I hear that I see my heart being broken really.
Yule alikuwa ni mtoto mpendwa, mnajua mtoto wa kwanza anavyopendwa.
Say that was my beloved son, and you know how you love your firstborn son.
So that's all that I really wanted to play from the press conference, but I really wanted to debunk a lot of the false narratives and the very harsh statements that people are saying about Patrick Lyoya and his family. They have no reason to lie. I saw one comment that said they've been here for 8 years. That's enough time to learn a language, and that's absolutely false. That's absolutely false. Think about people that were born here that have a hard time learning the language. And then if you guys know anything about Black people in general, African Americans, we have our own language. We have our own dialect that we speak in. And that's a reason why a lot of us are not able to excel in school, because we are taught one dialect when actually there is a whole different language that we clearly were born into, but just not taught or not a part of, that sets us to a disadvantage. So for y'all to say that 8 years was enough time to get accustomed to the way of the American life, false. Number two, we've been in a pandemic for the past 3 years. You just don't know what someone is going through. But the main thing that I wanted to highlight is the fact that they honestly do not understand. And ignorance should not have cost him his life. I felt like the learning opportunity was honestly through the eyes of the officer. So to know that the officer is not being held accountable, we don't even get to know the name of the officer that took this man's life. It's just simply not fair, because this officer had no reason to be as hostile as he was. He made it a crime scene. The moment he got out the car and yelled in Patrick's face, belittled him by putting his fingers in his face saying, "Do you speak English?" It was very, very concerning. And the look on Patrick's face showed it all. Like Miss Ross said, he looked like he did not understand what the police was saying, like he was confused. And then the police said the place didn't belong to the car. Exactly. Patrick clearly is like, what the hell are you talking about? He kept saying, like, what did I do wrong? He does not understand. And instead of saying, like, hey, do you know why I pulled you over? Do you know why I'm pulling you over? Hell, they didn't even say that. It's really strange to me how people can watch this and still justify the actions of the police officers. And that's the reason why reform will never happen. You guys will look at a murder and still justify what the police officer did when he was the one on duty for work. Period, point blank. Patrick did not fight this man. Patrick ran away from him. He didn't have any weapons. The police officer didn't even know Patrick's name to even know if he was a threat, a violent citizen of America. None of that. None of it. So the final clip that I want to show you guys is actually from Al Sharpton. Patrick's homegoing services is going to be held this Friday, and a lot of people from Grand Rapids, Michigan is already protesting. They have been protesting since the 4th to get justice for Patrick. Another one that I just want to highlight was a Grand Rapids high school student actually did a walkout today as a protest for Patrick. And to me, I felt like that spoke volumes, because our youth is getting involved. I remember when I was in high school and we heard about the first victim being killed by the police. I remember being told that we were going to be the voice of change. And I really do believe that. I've always have, hence why my channel is what it is. So for a whole high school class to walk out in solidarity for Patrick Lyoya, they did not even know this man, but to know that what happened to him was not right, and that this is honestly the final straw. How many more times is the question? How many more times does this have to happen? There is no regard to our life. And the reason why we have to be the voice, and the reason why we really have to fight for reform, is it keeps getting closer and closer. You never know when it's going to be you or your loved one. People can always say how they would act in a certain situation and how they would be if they were in this, until it's actually them in this. So Al Sharpton is actually going to be speaking at Patrick's homegoing celebration, and he also did offer to pay for his ceremony of life. And he actually has a show that he spoke with the parents and the Ben Crump about what is taking place and how they feel about the officer not being held accountable. So I want to show you guys a little bit of that, and then we'll wrap it up.
Justice in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Right now, demonstrators are continuing their days-long protests after the deadly police shooting of 26-year-old Patrick Lyoya. Lyoya, a Congolese refugee and father of two, was shot and killed by a Grand Rapids police officer on the morning of April 4th during a traffic stop. New videos released by the police department show the final moments of Patrick's life. Lyoya is seen in dash cam footage being pulled over in a residential neighborhood where both he and the officer, who has not publicly been identified, exit their vehicles. From their interaction, it turns violent. We should note that certain portions of the videos are blurred by police, not by NBC News. The two men wrestle on the ground, and as the officer appears to unholster his taser, he's heard yelling at least 5 times for Lyoya to either let go of the taser or drop the taser as he pinned Lyoya down. Moments later, the 26-year-old was shot in the head while face down on the ground. Patrick's family is now left mourning his death as Michigan State Police work to investigate what led to the officer's use of deadly force. Joining me now is Patrick's dad, Peter Lyoya, and his interpreter, Israel Siku, and the family's attorney and the Attorney General of Black America, Benjamin Crump. Ben, let me go to you first. Patrick's family came to the United States to flee war from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and now their son has died at the hands of police. They have made calls for the identity of the officer who killed their son. Also, they want to see him charged and prosecuted. The Grand Rapids Police Department says they won't release the officer's name because he is in charge. Why is knowing the name of the person who killed their son so important to the family as they work to seek justice?
Reverend Al, as his father Peter has said, they want to know and see the face of the individual who executed their son. This police officer escalated a simple misdemeanor traffic stop for tag registration into a deadly execution where they shot his son in the back of the head. And Reverend Hal, leaders in this country and all around the world are rightfully condemning Russian soldiers for shooting unarmed civilians in the back of the head in the Ukraine. We want them to condemn American police who shoot unarmed Black people into the back of the head also.
So do you guys agree that the family should know the name of the officer who killed their son? I definitely agree. I feel like if we can pull up Patrick's mug shots and his arrest record, why can't we not know the name of the officer that did this? If he did nothing quote unquote wrong, what is there to protect him from? Because the reason why that the main reason why they're not listing the officer's name is because clearly they feel like the officer's life could be in danger. Which, I mean, hell, I don't think that anyone's going to take this officer's life. I think they just really want him to be held accountable, and taking his life would not be it. They really want him behind bars because that's where murderers go, behind bars, right? And I just feel like every time I think about this case, the only thing that I can keep thinking about is why did he have to shoot him again? Because as I showed y'all in the video, Patrick was already down. He already had him pinned down. So shooting him did what? It comes off, in my opinion, and let me be very clear, this is my opinion, it really comes off as the officer was pissed because he could not get Patrick down, and Patrick really played with his manhood, so he had to take his life. That is my honest opinion. The reason why I have formed this opinion is because I have read lots and lots of history books, and I know how they like to emasculate Black men when they feel like they are intimidated. being intimidated or looking like inferior to Black people. This man was already down. This man never tried to fight you. So for you to kill him and then shoot him in the back of his head really comes off as evil, really comes off as foul and disgusting, in my opinion. And I really feel like he did it because his ego was hurt. He was already pissed off. He clearly was having a bad day, which is not our problem, nor was it ever Patrick's. But because Patrick really grabbed that tase gun when he was trying to tase him, and Patrick really was not submissive to him the way that he wanted him to be, he was like, I'm just gonna kill you because I can get away with it. That's how it comes off to me, in my opinion. Do I know this for a fact? No.
What I don't get here is we look at the footage and he was on top of this young man, Patrick. So he knew he wasn't armed because he's on top of him. He can feel his whole body. Why, under what rationale could he even justify shooting him in the back of the head? I mean, the Michigan State Police said once the investigation is completed, the evidence will be turned over to the county prosecutor who will decide on charges in the case. What was your interpretation of the incident? Are you concerned authorities will say this was a justifiable killing? Because we've heard of problems with police in Grand Rapids before.
And Reverend L, as you know, as head of the National Network, far too often they come up with reasons to justify unjustifiable actions that lead to police killings of unarmed Black people in America. And there's a long list we can go through. But here, this video is so revealing that there is no imminent fear of threat to cause him to use deadly force. He's supposed to de-escalate this situation, but he continues to escalate it. And never once, Reverend Al, never once did a violent act towards him, while the officer does several acts of violence against him during this video, where he's near him, where he's punching him, and Patrick never once hits the officer.
Peter, I want to thank you for joining us tonight, along with your translator, Brother Saku, to talk about the death of your son. And first, let me express my deepest condolences to you and your family. When you saw the video of your son's killing, what was your immediate reaction?
Uliona video ya mtoto wako kisha alikufa, reaction yako ilikuwa?
Sasa mimi niliona jinsi askari polisi mkuu shuti mtoto wangu kichwa.
When I saw how the officer shot my son in the head,
nilisikia kabisa mwili wangu tetemeka na nikakosa kabisa amani.
My entire body was trembling and I did not have peace at all.
Describe for us, Peter, what type of person your son was. What kind of man was he that you knew as your son, and the nation now is learning about him? Tell us about him.
Na nasema tunataka utuambie Patrick alikuwa je? Patrick alikuwa nani? Puisque sasa dunia nzima inatafuta kujua Patrick alikuwa mtu gani.
Patrick Lyoya ni mtoto wangu wa kwanza.
Patrick was my firstborn. Patrick Lyoya was my firstborn.
Alikuwa ameeneza umri wa miaka.
He was 26 years old.
Patrick alikuwa mtu mashuhuri sana wa kufanya kazi.
Patrick was a hard-working man.
Alikuwa kijana wa kupenda familia yake.
He was a loving brother. He loved his family, loved me, he loved his mom.
Alikuwa anashughulika ajili ya ndugu zake na familia nzima.
He took care of his brother and the entire family.
Alikuwa mtu wa kupenda kazi sana.
He really loved to work.
Alikuwa mtumishi kabisa wa.
And he was a really a hard-working man.
Patrick wakati alikuwa akipata hela zake,
when Patrick received his money, got paid,
anaongea na wandugu zake niwaletee nini.
He will ask his brother, his sibling, what would you like me to bring for you?
Sasa kila mara akipata hela anakuja wandugu zake vitu vyenyewe wanataka.
And every time when he got paid, he was buying stuff, gift, bringing things to his sibling that they like.
Basi Patrick alikuwa mpendwa sana wa familia, mpaka kwa sasa wandugu zake na mimi pia kama baba yake na mama yake hatujakubali kama Patrick ameuawa.
Patrick was the beloved son of the family. He loved his family loved him. Until now, his sibling, me and his mom, we can't believe that Patrick, we are not believing that Patrick was killed.
Wow, and now, Peter, you and
So Patrick, as y'all know, they continuously said he is the oldest of 6 children and he has brothers. And think about the value of his brother's life now that he is gone. He not only gifted his brothers with gifts, he gave them love. Every time he got paid, he called his family. You know, a lot of immigrants really live by that. And that's something that I have always admired. They live by their family. They love to help their family. It's always a village. So he would call his little brothers and ask them what they wanted. He would talk to his brothers. That support system is gone. Gone. So think about how his brothers are going to be from here on out. This can really change a good person's life, their mind, the way they react to things. It steals the light from someone. So not only did y'all take Patrick away, y'all villainized him. So y'all made him this monster when he was not. Because I mean, what's the crime of having illegal tags? Like, come on now, that's not a monstrous crime. But you guys also have affected a whole family and shaken up a whole family.
your family, his brother and the family have to prepare to lay him to rest. Do you want to say what your plans are to funeralize him?
Anasema sasa hapa mko mnajitayarisha gisa kwenda kumulaza Patrick kumzika. Utaenda kutuambia mnapanga nini juu ya mazishi?
Patrick nilikuwa nataka mimi na jamaa na wandugu na marafiki twende tumuone siku yake ya mwisho na tumwage aende salama.
Me and the family and his brother and sister and all the community, Congolese community, we wanted to pay visit. We want to pay visit Patrick and to put him at rest.
Lakini mwisho ya hiyo fanya mazishi napenda Patrick sheria ionekane juu ya Patrick.
And after that, I would like justice to be done for Patrick.
And we would like to thank you, Reverend Al. The family wishes to thank you for coming to bring you.
So that is it. That is all the updates that I have on Patrick Lyoya and his story. It is a very, very sad, unfortunate, too common at this point story. But y'all know I've been telling y'all that I really think that it's important to talk about our Black men and how they are being mistreated and shed light on their stories as well, because they matter as well. But again, I really wanted to ask y'all, do y'all feel like there was anything that the officer, besides murdering him right out the gate, do you guys feel like there was anything different that the officer could have did to change how this traffic stop went? Do you guys feel like officers in general need proper training in being able to approach a situation? They already allegedly have this training, but I don't believe it, because I feel like what is there to investigate? The officer got out the car, pissed the hell off, and he ended work pissed the hell off. There's nothing to investigate. He instigated this whole thing. And like Ben Crump pointed out, Patrick was kicked, Patrick was punched, and he never raised a hand at the officer. The officer was never in danger. The officer was only pissed off. I do feel like the officer's face definitely should have been shown, Tracy, and I hope that they do show the officer's face and get his name, because I swear, y'all, I was squinting like a motherfucker in that video to try to see exactly what, who this officer was. And of course, it was blurred out, so I couldn't see. But I'm like, I just want to know who he is. I want to know about his background, because a lot of these officers that have been in the spotlight for murdering us have been tenured officers that should know better, officers that don't have any excuses. But yes, that is the video for today. If I get any updates, I will update you guys on this video. I'm so sorry that y'all have to think about this before bed, but I wholeheartedly believe that you guys need to continue to talk about these type of things with your loved ones and your family, and please stay safe. Please, please, please. I don't even know at this point how that is. Like, how do we stay safe in this? Because we damned if we do, we damned if we don't. But I feel like this is something that we as a collective need to talk about. So I'm more than open in the comments. Tell me the talks that you guys have with your children or your husbands or your wives, so then I can have some tips to talk to my family, because I truly am at a loss for words. This story has been on my heart all day, and I just feel so bad. And again, remember, we only do better when we know better. So please don't forget to like this video and subscribe on your way out. I will see you guys in another one.
And thank you. Oh yeah, thank you, Ms. Marcel. Yo, all props to you. And just be you.